Hey everyone, I'm Chef Dennis and welcome to Good Day Google Plus. And it's such a happy day for me because I have some wonderful friends in the panel with me today and we're going to have some fun. And today's was health, happiness, and business. And I was going to say business as usual, but business as usual kind of makes us think that we're just trudging along, so I didn't want to do that. But for my health, we have Dr. Allen of the Spine Coach. How you doing, Doctor?
Great, I'm feeling great. Finishing my day.
I want to call you Dr. Allen, but then that makes me think of Dr. Phil, and you need to talk with a southern accent. And I don't know if that would quite fit. Some euphemisms, but thanks so much for coming with us today. I'm happy to see you. And you are in Canada.
Calgary, Canada.
Is it still snowing?
No, that was last week.
Yeah.
I saw that.
It's snowing?
Oh yeah, you bet. You bet. We had 6 inches of snow last week.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
Yeah. But I'm happy to report it's back up to like 73 degrees today or whatever.
That's great. And we know you're talking Fahrenheit for us Americans.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was great.
You'd be, or else we'd be in real hot water, Chef.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All right. And that's the health. And for my happiness portion, I have Heather Faye, because she's going to be singing for us, and that's the time. So thanks so much for coming on. It's been way too long.
My pleasure. I know it's been way, way, way too long. So
And,
I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Oh, it's great. We're going to let you start with a song in a little bit, and we'll talk to you a little bit more about your projects. But I just want to say hi. And you are in, where are you? Carolinas or
Connecticut.
Connecticut. Okay. I knew it was one of the C states. That was close. All right, and then next here we've got some business people, and we have Elaine Lindsay from Truel Social Media, and this is our first time on an HOA, I think, isn't it? Or have we been on? Were we on?
We've been on a couple before, but not on Good Day Google Plus.
Good Day, yeah, it's the first Good Day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much. I'm really happy to be here, and it's great to see some old faces, some new faces. I'm really looking forward to this. And it's never business as usual. Oh my God, no.
Never.
No.
At least not on Google Plus, because business as usual is never
absolutely
usual.
not.
Yeah.
But I want to say to Dr. Allen, yeah, Calgary, you're getting the good weather this week, and we're getting the yuck, because it was 33 this morning.
Wow.
Guys.
And where are you at, Elaine?
I'm in Ottawa, Canada.
You're not. Oh, so you're another. We have another Canadian then. Okay, that's right. I didn't realize that. So we're well represented. We have a Brit, right, Amy?
We do. Yes, I'm based in Brighton, so right on the south coast of England. If you know where London is, head south, and when you get to the water, stop, and you'll be near Brighton at that point.
Luckily, they didn't tell them that when they crossed over the pond. They didn't stop when they got to the water. Thank goodness.
They kept going. It didn't put them off.
So, how are things in Brighton today?
Things are very, very well. The weather, we're having some gorgeous, a bit of a gorgeous late summer, so it's very hot, which isn't always conducive to being productive, because I just want to sit out and eat ice cream, and that doesn't get a lot of stuff done, as much as fun as it is. But yeah, no, it was good. I've been today mostly, I'll chat about that later, but focusing on a video campaign around the Jimmy Fallon Tonight Show. So that's been taking up all my attention today.
Very nice. Well, look forward to hearing about that. So, well, we're going to start our show, and as usual, if you have comments, questions, or just want to shout out, leave your comments in the section underneath the video there for you, and we will be happy to get to them. And right now, we're going to turn it over to Heather Faye, and she is going to sing us one of her beautiful songs. So, Heather, all yours.
All right, I'm going to go ahead. I guess I switch into studio, right?
Yeah.
Is that all right? Okay.
Sure.
You know how rusty I am when I have to ask that question, right? Wow. And how's this? Is this too much reverb? Does that make me sound like I'm in an echo chamber?
It's a little echoey, but it's not bad.
All right. We can turn it down, I think.
That's like large auditorium rock star stuff.
Well, I like to give you guys, an experience.
There you go.
Close your eyes and just imagine. if you will. All right, I'm going to sing a song called Don't Cry. Does that sound okay? Can you hear everything?
Yep. Good.
Seeing the world around me, watching my life slip by, looking for someone to hold me, and all the while wondering why. Don't cry. Don't cry. Don't cry. 'Cause I'm finding home. Capture the light surrounding just me and myself, pulling away from nothing, justifying what's left. Don't cry. Don't cry. Don't cry. 'Cause I'm finding home. And every time I think I'm there, I wait to find I've been nowhere all this time. When I raise my hands to quit, I see a glimpse of all that's been around me all this time. So don't cry. Don't cry. Don't cry. 'Cause I'm finding home. Finding home.
Hey, that was it.
Thank you. I hope I didn't blast you guys away. I realized I didn't check my.
Time to freeze, though.
Frozen.
There you are. You're
Am
back.
I here? Am I here?
You're here. You're here. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
Awesome.
That was ace. Really like that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
That's one of my favorites.
I thought of you, Elaine. I knew that. That's why I played that one.
Wonderful. So that was. What do you have coming up live for us? Do you have any shows coming up that you're going to be out and about, or oot and about for the Canadians?
I do have some shows coming up. My goodness, I've got a couple online. I'm actually doing a couple of shows over on Concert Window. I don't know if you guys have heard of that platform yet.
Yeah.
It's very cool. In addition to Google Plus, but it's a little bit different in the sense that you can basically pay what you want to see the show, and you're able to, if you like what you hear, you're able to actually give tips to the performers, which is a really nice thing for, you know, for us. I mean, I love doing stuff for free, and I love but having a place where we can go, and if people really kind of new people like what you're doing and they come in and they want to throw you a buck or two or whatever, it's a very cool thing. So I've been doing a couple shows over there, and then I'll be playing around Connecticut. I have some shows up on my website, and all the information, heatherfay.com, is there. So yeah.
Can you leave us the link for that concert site? The one you just said, where they can go watch.
Yeah, where do I put that?
Well, you can put it in the bar later on.
Okay, yeah, concert window, definitely, because I'd love to see you guys over there too. So
I love that. That's almost like standing on the corner, opening your guitar case up, and letting people throw tips in.
It's absolutely, it's internet busking at its best. Yeah, it really is. Yeah. It's cool. It's very
That's
cool.
Great. You don't have to worry about the weather either.
Exactly. Or any time of day, really.
Yeah, exactly.
That's fantastic. Set the amount of reverb.
Exactly. I can bring my own reverb, which is awesome.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it. You don't have to worry about any really strange people coming by. Well, I'm sure you get an occasional one online too.
That's to be expected.
Always. Well, good. That's wonderful. And feel free to chime in with the rest of the people. If any of you have engaged with each other, and if you have questions for each other, please do ask them. And right now, I'm going to move right back over to Dr. Allen. And since we had that beautiful music, now tell us, Doctor, do you find that helps in treatment?
Oh, music is key. I mean, in my office, my clinics, they're fairly quiet. We have to be able to hear the patient. Unless I suppose other offices, clinics could have a rock star theme, but we don't quite have that rock star theme in the office. But no, I mean, I'm certainly a big believer. We create great environments. One of my offices, clinics downtown Calgary, has been designed like an art gallery, and we used to hold art openings there. But that got to be a little too much, so we still feature. One of my things is photographer. So I feature some of my large panels of art done up in our archival canvas, and so we create an artistic environment. And then my other office are architecturally designed and really nice. So I believe in environment and music, of course, and sound, and sometimes silence and nature is beautiful. And I believe that's, of course, very much part of the healing experience, is to create great environments. I mean, how many doctors' offices, and we aren't your regular doctor, chiropractors' offices are just busy or cluttered or yucky, and you want to get in and you want to get out. But so health is multidimensional, I think. What does everybody else think?
Well, like you, I have a chiropractor that I see twice a week, and her office is phenomenal. Like you, she believes in energetic and the holistic form. And I just want to shout out 119 years yesterday since the birth of chiropractic.
That's right, yay.
Yeah, Dr. Mercola, yeah.
Very cool.
I definitely believe in the, your environment being, helping in the healing process. I mean, 100%. I remember there was a hospital in LA, that Huntington Hospital in Pasadena, actually. I walked into that hospital, and it was the first one I ever went to where they had carpeting, like in the patient floors. They had like carpeting and really nice artwork, and the like furniture was actual like wood furniture, not like metal indescript, it was really, really warm. And I was visiting a friend who had minor surgery, but I just thought that alone is so much more inviting. And you just feel more calm and at home than the sterile, dank, kind of doctor's office or hospital. And the music, I remember the music it wasn't Muzak versions of music. It was actual music that people could connect to, and it was such a a different environment, which I thought was really cool. So I think 100% it's healing arts. They're art. So
I certainly don't miss Muzak at all.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I can't believe you said that. That takes me way back.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it's a good thing that went
Oh,
away.
Yeah. Thank goodness. Maybe satellite radio did have a little something to do with that, and I haven't.
Oh, for sure.
There might be a revival, though. There might be, like, you know, in, say, 10, 20 years, we're like, don't you miss music? Like, you know, just evokes this time of, like, you know, years gone by, and then they'll bring out all these, like, the best of music 80s.
Oh, I don't know.
That's awesome. That's like a Saturday Night Live skit. That's perfect. I love that.
Yeah.
With the hit song "Trapped in the Elevator."
Well, I was going to say it has to be in an elevator.
Yeah. And that's only where you can hear it. And
absolutely.
I think people will pay, and they shut you in, and you have to go up and down. You're not allowed to leave until you finish the album. And if you survive, you win something.
I like that one. I like that one. If you don't go crazy while you're in there.
Yeah.
It'll be new tunes like "Paradise in the Elevator" music environment.
Yeah.
Okay, now I want my music to be music. Now I want a version of it. I'm going to send it off to the music people of the world and say, cover my songs.
Here, cover my songs. I like it. I can listen to you in the elevator.
Oh, thank you. That's the best compliment ever.
Oh, yeah, that's fantastic. We should have more of that.
All love to be trapped in the elevator with you, Heather Faye.
Oh, right back at you.
We've got some really great...
That's the dream trap.
That's the dream trap. We've got some really great comments. Here's Bill Reed. Pleasantly surprised upon joining your HOA today. Heather Faye sounds great. Also looking forward to hearing from the panelists. I've been dealt with lifelong spinal issues like paralysis, multiple surgeries. I'm especially looking forward to hearing from Dr. Alan Chong. So thanks, Bill. Glad to hear you.
Thank you.
There. And David Henry Pike did post that concert window link, because no one was asking about it.
Oh,
awesome.
Good, yeah.
And David Henry said, I was talking to Mia, that you were one of the first artists that circled back in the beginning, and I remember that too, Heather.
Aww.
I remember when you ran your first, what was it? It was the fundraising, the crowdfunding.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, that's so cool.
The good old days.
The good old days.
Good old days.
Mia Voss, just in time for some Heather Faye girl crush. And,
right back at you, Mia Voss.
Yeah.
Love the song, Heather Faye. Beautiful sound from Leah Davies.
Thank you. Oh, you guys are too sweet.
And there's a lot more in here. Coach Moore is here. He loves his Texas-style music. And here is G. Warner saying, I'm at the Mahaffey Theater. No, Ruth Eckert Hall. Awesome. Carol Do, such a beautiful song.
Aww.
And a lot of stuff. You'll have to come back and check. We've got a lot.
Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you, guys.
Ooh, Mick Sharp, woohoo, live with Litley. I love it. That's a new one. Jimmy Fallon got the heart out. I have Heather Faye.
Yeah, there you go.
I'll be the roots to your Jimmy Fallon any day.
Oh, gotta love it. So we've got a lot of people. So if you have questions for any of our panelists, please chime in. And Dr. Allen, what do you think? Do you guys still believe in regular medicine too? It's just that you supplement.
Oh, of course. Yeah. You know, what's interesting is that the whole world of medicine, really, medicine is only one branch, becoming a declining branch of healthcare, because people are exploring their own health and taking it under their own control. And to partially address the question of people with chronic pain and issues, like the one comment there, question is that embracing your own solutions by doing researching online has been hugely powerful for the world, and forcing practitioners to get on stream to current methods and current practices. Like at one time, chiropractic was frowned upon and still by some physicians, and shame on you, because you got to get into this today's world if that's the case. And many patients have not been treated properly because they haven't been told, well, I personally don't know, but here's someone who might know, so go see Dr. So-and-so, or go see so-and-so, the practitioner. And medicine is very slow to adopt that type of thing for various reasons. Now, from an alternative standpoint, now we have the internet where people can search out various different things, and including people like me, to seek out alternatives. And not that I'm alternative per se, but that's not a bad word. In fact, I think it's a great thing to empower people to look for other options, because I really have a problem when people are told, you have this for life, it's incurable. Well, just to remind you, and I would encourage the audience to think this way: in that doctor's opinion, thank you very much, see you later, I'm off to someone else.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I have just started a round of acupuncture myself. I've had, and it was crazy, I have a skin condition that I can't get rid of, and dermatologists are just like, well, the doctor pulled his arm up and showed me his, and I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I went to an acupuncturist, and they used some, did some cupping as well, and
Oh, wow.
yeah, so it's I've been feeling more energetic, so I'm a true believer in finding another path if one path isn't working. Now, Dr. Allen, weren't originally osteopaths? Didn't they do some chiropractic, some adjustments?
Well, let's clarify is that they developed and started on a similar stream to chiropractic by doing manipulation as one of the main tools. However, they branched off and believed more that the vascular system and the blood vessels and such had more influence. And as chiropractors, we evolved as believing that the nervous system has the greater influence, and it really doesn't matter which one does. They all have an influence, and they're both important. So chiropractic just became a much larger and widespread profession in North America, primarily Britain, certainly, Australia, and various other centers. But really, chiropractic is little known in certain areas, like the Middle East and certain parts of Asia and certain parts of the world are virtually, chiropractic is little known if unknown. So that's why I say, with the World Wide Web now, and people are able to look into various alternatives. Now, not all of them are good or sound, and some of them are outright hokey, but it's really a matter of the practitioner, I believe, so to seek out the practitioner.
Yeah, it's like anything else. You get a good doctor, you can get a doctor that's not as good. So
exactly. Yeah.
But at least there's more avenues for research as well. Although I have to say, like, if it comes to a health thing, I have to not use Google, because I will go. We used to have my mum hid it from me when I was a child. She used to have it was a diagnosis sort of signs and symptoms book, and so you look up your symptom. I mean, it sounds great. You'd look up your symptom, and then it would tell you, and it would split them into categories and say, this is what it probably is, this is what it could be, and this is what it's very unlikely and incredibly rare to be. And you always go to that section. And so a headache becomes like, oh my God, it's a tumor. It's a tumor. I know. And my mum had to hide this book from me, because she was like, every time I go to the book, it's like, no, it's a cold. You're fine.
Yeah. You go to the doctor and tell him you have this disease, and he has to ask you if you've been to Uganda lately, because that's the only place.
Yeah.
So, but I've got a better balance, and I think it's great that we've got more power as well. It's like, we've got more options to choose. We can research. We can look at forums, and I think that's a really good thing. As long as it's a good thing for finding those experts and then getting those opinions.
Yeah.
I think.
I think.
Go ahead.
What's been great is Google Plus. It is now in a global spectrum. We can now refer or recommend people. Hey, you maybe should check out so and so. Check out Chef Dennis not for health reasons necessarily, for advice on food. For example. I mean, I'm sure, Chef Dennis, you got some great things about your elbow. You probably fisted your dermatologist and said, hey, yeah, we got the same thing. Yay.
Yay.
But, seek another opinion that's reputable, and of course, word of mouth is still one of the most reputable.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I love about Google Plus, because it's like that village community feel, except it goes around the world. So you can ask your friends who you've made online, which isn't weird anymore, and you can get those recommendations from trusted peers and colleagues.
Absolutely.
It's also about having informed choice. You can, although if you don't take it too far, my husband's like you, Amy. As soon as he sees it, it's like goes to the worst one, and oh, absolutely,
Yeah.
I have Hashimoto's. What? It's like, no, honey, no, you have sinus. It's not a big deal. But having the ability to do enough research that you can actually make an informed choice. I'm much more likely to try alternative medicine, and I don't think you know this, Chef Dennis, but I've had more than 50 surgeries and went through a period of time where spent almost a whole year in the hospital due to some very poorly done Western medicine. And it wasn't for lack of research. We did our research, but at the time it was a lack of competent doctors in that area. So yeah, so I have a healthy appreciation for alternative medicines.
Yeah, I dated a shiatsu practitioner, and that was my first introduction to that sort of side of it. And I, before then, I was very cynical about anything with the words alternative or holistic in it. But then getting to know it, and little things like, what really struck me is that they will come at it from, if they're doing a diagnosis, they also want to know what your personality like, what your relationships are like, what your environment at home is like. And that has a massive knock-on effect. Like, I remember going back to visiting my GP, my doctor, years ago, and because I was feeling a little bit woozy, and my sort of my pulse rate to me was a little bit lower. And because I didn't like doctors, I got in there and she took my blood pressure and my heart rate, and she was like, no, it's going really fast. I was like, yes, I know. It's because I'm stressed out for being here. And so if you think, we were talking about environments earlier on, if you can go somewhere that is calm, that feels nice, and also takes into account what you're going through, like, are you stressed at the moment? Are you in a good kind of emotional place? Because that comes out as your physical symptoms.
It's so true. I have a doctor that I love. Well, two. My kid's pediatrician I love because he is very open to, alternative medicines. He's a great, he's a traditional MD or pediatrician, but he really is extreme. Like, if I do see something on the internet, he doesn't, balk at it. He's the first one to be, oh, let's pull it up. Let's look at it together. Let's see. Well, maybe this is a good option. And I love him for that. And then the first time I saw my general practitioner, I went in there and, heart racing, very nervous, because it's that environment, that sterile, the fluorescent lights and the, everything. And the first thing he asked me, maybe it was the way he asked it, but he was like, he's like, so, why are you here? What's going on? And then he was like, how are you? And I was like, wow. He's like, how are you, otherwise? And it was just like I'm not used to that type of question. It was very personal. Like, I don't know, how am I? Like, thanks for asking. And he did want to know, is if there were other factors in, why I was there, and I appreciated that, and it was opened up a much more honest dialogue, and probably made his diagnosing easier because I felt comfortable with him. So there's, I definitely.
You're very lucky to have two of them that are great.
I know. That's one of the reasons I would be reluctant to ever move. But yeah.
That has been one of the hardest things for me, was moving and finding, because I had doctors, again, that I was, like you said, you're very comfortable with and have been very good to you and know you. So coming here, it's like you have to meet a whole new set of them.
Mm-hmm. It's hard. Yeah. But that's where the word of mouth and the, comes in handy. Yeah. The Google Plus connection, if I were moving to, we have friends everywhere now, so it's nice.
I did want to clarify, I certainly don't recommend you seek out Dr. Google or Dr. Bing right away, but for guidance sake, one opinion doesn't mean that's it. That's the be-all, end-all. It can be very extremely important information, and it might be critical information, even though it might not be that particular practitioner or doctor that ultimately does the treatment or helps you the most. So I say each piece of information is useful, but it comes down to, part of it is what's your heart. I was on an interview yesterday, and part of what I shared was that you've got to have a feeling that that's the right direction. For example, those people that are in serious situations where they're deciding on surgery or try more chiropractic or try something else for the spine. You know, I always say surgery is the absolute last resort. Try a different chiropractor, not just by looking on Dr. Google or Dr. Bing, but for the, you know, who rates the highest. That may be useful if you're getting your furnace cleaned, but you know, if we're talking about make educated decisions there and take in the information, and that's really what the best advice.
I had to realize there for a minute when you said getting your furnace cleaned, you weren't talking about our bodies. You were actually talking
Well, it could have application to that, couldn't it?
yeah, time for that colonoscopy. I better get my furnace cleaned. Well, on that note, let's one of the ladies, and let's talk a little bit about what they do on the and how things are going with them. So, Amy, since you're next to Dr. Allen on my screen anyway, so tell us a little about what you got going on.
So, if you don't know me, I run, well, I'm found at harrisonamy.com because amyharrison.com was already gone. And until I track down that San Francisco filmmaker and make her change her mind, it'll be harrisonamy.com for a while. But I'm a content marketing consultant and trainer, so my business has evolved over the last sort of 5 or 6 years, and I've gone from doing writing, copywriting, sales copywriting, and then into training businesses about content marketing and mostly how to tell a better story. So at the moment, what I'm now trying to do is take all the content marketing training materials that I have amassed and created for businesses over the last couple of years and put that online in a format that's accessible and affordable to small business owners and could be licensed out to bigger businesses. So that's what I'm now telling people, and behind the scenes, that's what I'm trying to get done in sort of digging through all this training material and just formatting and putting it together. So I'm really excited about that because I can see that there's a need and a want for it, and I'm looking forward to, I think I'll release it probably in the next couple of months. But one thing that I've been experimenting with over the last year and a half is comedy videos to market, initially just to market me because it was just something that I was interested in doing. And so people were driving their attention to me, and then people were hiring me for writing and for training. And in the future, it will be aimed at building attention around this sort of training center. So the latest one that I was working on was with Martin Shervington from Plus Your Business, and we got together so he's a Google Plus genius, and he often runs campaigns to get things, businesses and brand names trending on Google Plus to show the power of what Google Plus can do. And he wanted to do something around Jimmy Fallon because he's a big fan of Jimmy Fallon. I love Jimmy Fallon as well, and so we created this video because today is Jimmy Fallon's 40th birthday. So we created this little comedy sketch video, which is about 2.5 minutes. And if you've been on Google Plus today, and if you're in either my circles or Martin's circles, you'll have seen it going around. And it's basically a little comedy video of Martin and I trying to come up with new segment ideas for the Jimmy Fallon show as like a birthday message to him. And as you can see earlier, my ideas about bringing back music. That's how kind of I know what works with these kind of things. And so some of the segments that I came up with, the first one was Word Squirm, which is me just reading out uncomfortable words, and Martin has to try and not squirm.
That's really funny.
That took forever to film because we were just laughing, and I could see it was almost like like in like psychiatry, and they have those DOTS tests, and it's like, what do you see? And I could see Martin's looking at me going, how have you come up with these words? Like, what is wrong with you? As I'm sitting there going, I'm asking him words like. An example. I will. Yeah. There's fondle, flaccid, gusset, And the big one, like the biggest one that people seem to react to is moist.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yep.
So there was word squirm. There was another segment called High Hopes, Low Budgets. And the idea was that people would come onto the show with a dream, but because we've got a low budget, we can only get them so far. And so in the segment, there's me saying, I really want to learn how to fly. And at which point my brother walks on, picks me up, and just chucks me a little bit. You know, so it's kind of like I'm almost in the air a little bit. And so, yeah, so there's a couple more hot potato hashtag, and the other one was non-audience suggestions. So just reading from a suggestion box of people who've never seen the Jimmy Fallon show. So that was a lot of fun to release that today. If you haven't seen it, go and check it out. And we managed to get it trending. I think last time I checked in, it was at number 4 trending on Google+.
Awesome.
That's awesome. That's great.
It was a lot of fun to do, and it's been really nice to see other people kind of coming up with their own themes and around sort of wishing Jimmy Fallon a happy birthday. So hopefully he'll notice, and he'll know that how great the Google Plus community is.
Who knows? We might see you and Martin on Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah, there you go.
That would be
Fingers
great.
crossed. That would be awesome.
On Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah, I've been trying to get on the Ellen show for a while, but she hasn't noticed me yet.
Oh,
so
you and my son.
we'll keep hoping.
Yeah,
Ellen
you've got to keep trying.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Dream big. Dream big.
They're the same birthday.
Oh,
So,
really?
I don't know. Yeah, do you remember him in the banana suit?
Yes.
Yeah, he did a song
Yes.
for her in a banana suit.
And never heard anything?
Well, it's actually a sad and funny story. The very same day that he put that video up, we got him 14,000 views within 36 hours. But a young lady here in Ottawa who was waiting for new lungs actually had put up a campaign and reached out to Ellen, not for herself, but wanting people to be organ donors and make a big campaign. And they approached, my son works for the radio, and they approached also his radio station. So he just stepped back, and they helped her, and she actually eventually got on Ellen, and I'm even happier to say she got her lungs, and she's doing phenomenal.
Wow, that's amazing.
Oh my gosh.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was really, really cool. He's now in Calgary, Dr. Allen, so...
Wow. Have him come say hi.
Yeah, he's on App Radio.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Really? Okay. I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, he's the morning man.
Yeah. Okay. We won't name names, but all right. I'll say. Well, I don't know if I'll be able to say hi to him. Hey, call you up and say your mom said to say hi on Google.
Yeah, he'd expect that.
Yeah, for sure. He's off duty now.
Yeah.
All right. That's awesome.
Gotta love. I remember the old days of radio when I would listen to them on FM a lot of times, and most of those guys have either gone away or now work for Sirius or XM doing shows there. Philadelphia had a great market of DJs for a while there. But now it's iPod for me. I mean, a lot of my music, I have so much music that I take it with me, and but I do get tired of some of the DJ kind of interaction from time to time. So that's still a pretty cool job to have.
Yeah.
So Elaine, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you're doing?
Okay. I'm social media, and I basically my background is actually search and design. So I approach social media from a bit of a different venue in terms of the integration I've seen since the get-go. Heather and I have been here a really long time, got in on day 3, and very quickly thereafter, in my mind, I could see that there was an integration between search and Google+. Like it wasn't like anything else. And taking that one step further, I actually help people understand that integration no matter what social platform you're on, so that you're actually giving yourself a solid foundation online, be it your website, your blog, or your social channels, and that really helps people to get found faster. Because let's face it, if you're not getting found in search, doesn't matter how gorgeous your website is or how many social channels you're on, it's really kind of irrelevant. So basically I speak mostly around North America about Google Plus a lot, YouTube, LinkedIn, and the other social channels, and just how you can basically put your best face forward in working the social channels in a good way, because it's all about the engagement. And I've been saying for years, you know, social media is a real marathon. It's not a sprint, and don't get out there and be a broadcaster, because that's not going to work.
You know what you're talking about, lady.
Thank you, hon.
And I'd like to say you're a social media queen, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
One of them, a queen of social media.
Thank you very much.
Well, we need to connect some more, for sure.
That would be great. And Dennis, if you don't mind me taking like 2 more seconds.
Oh, go ahead, please.
I'm actually in the middle of putting together the 2 pieces of my life. Because as it says in the information for today, I'm also a motivational speaker. I have had a, let's say, rather interesting life. And being as I am, I'm 58, I'll be 59 in November. It seems to some people it was kind of late in life to be doing social media and other things. But I believe you're only as old as you are in your mind, which makes me between 9 and 12. So I get to have a lot of fun doing what I do, but I do have some very deep messages about picking myself up and going for it all the time. They call me the kind of bionic Pollyanna, because I actually am kind of bionic. I've got a lot of not my parts, and I do play the glad game every day.
Aww. I love you, Elaine. You're awesome.
Thank you, sweetheart.
Elaine. Yeah, love to do some work with you, Elaine. You know, I don't know where it goes, but I'm reaching out and doing more public speaking. In fact,
good.
I'm thrilled. 10 days from now, we launch my new show with, guess who? Who's my guest?
Me.
Hey.
That guy. Woohoo.
Launching it, Healthier, Happier You, here on Google Plus. It'll be
I love it. I love it.
Healthier, Happier You. So certainly, I mean, I'm super excited about it. I just got on Google Plus, like, I was thinking about it 4 months ago, I think. Four and a half months ago. And through Lisa Ingalls, some of you might know, and shout out to her and thank her for saying, you know, do you think you want to learn about this stuff? I think you really should. Really, Lisa? Okay, I'll support you on it. So I took her course. And it was like, it's from A to Z and beyond, really. Like, I feel a bit like, you know, like Toy Story or something. It's like I knew nothing about Google Plus virtually 6 months ago. And then four and a half months ago, she made me fill out a profile. Okay, you mean I need to fill out a profile? And here I am, a guest on Chef Dennis's show, and he's going to be on my show. I mean, it's just a bit surreal right now.
Well, that's really excellent. Yeah, I moderate a health summit, Dr. Allen. We'll have to talk about that later, but with a group of chiropractors.
Well, chiropractors and others, because we're not all friendly, you know. I am.
Oh, that's funny. Well, we're having too much fun here today. Let me run back up here and throw a couple other comments up here and say hi to some people. And let me see, Scott Scowcroft is up here, and he says, never to give up on the Ellen DeGeneres. Thank you, Scott. I appreciate that. And David Henry Pipe is talking about your Jimmy Fallon birthday bloopers there.
We had 2 videos out today. We had the main video, and then we had all the outtakes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. I can't wait to watch.
And Bill Reed was saying he needs a set of those hashtags, Amy. I love it. You know, we used to play a kind of game like that at the restaurant. and we would get a word, and then we would see what other words we could find with that ending. So it would kind of get.
Oh, okay.
And you talk about getting a little, it's not tense, but like, woo, did they really say that? So it's anything to pass the time, and word games are always fun. So,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
you might want to start a new, like Michael Daniels has his series of game shows. That might be a new game show for you and Martin to start. And Martin would have to be the moderator, but that like strict kind of British moderator, sort of,
Yeah.
who was all the Monty Python, John Cleese, sort of a John Cleese. When someone says a bad word, he'd have to look and go.
There aren't a lot of game shows on here. Like there should be. That's bring in some guests, and that would be fun.
It definitely should be. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then you can cut together, because you could potentially cut
Like a
together the
sponsorship break.
bloopers and stuff for after, and that's a good show. I mean,
Well, Chris Hardwick started it kind of from here. He's got a show on TV now called At Midnight.
oh really?
Yep.
I
Yep.
didn't know that.
Yeah, it's actually really good. But him and his shout out Chris. Him and his buddies started, and he had Kevin Smith on the other day. He's got all the comedians on. It's a lot of fun.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
And it can be very racy.
I'm sure.
Oh, well, it sounds like we're having fun. So, I'm still looking for other acts for the show. I do love the music component. Heather, this is the third music act I've had this month. I'm excited.
Wow, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Go.
Excellent.
Because being an old rocker myself, a child of the 60s, I don't play anymore after carpal tunnel. Most of my guitars. I still have one, but it needs a serious restringing. I kept my mark. I know. I almost went to the open mic night, the other thing that Christine DeGraff had, but I'd have to work up a song for
Oh,
it.
you need to do it. Okay, now I'm going to make you accountable. You need to do it. Don't give up on that. You can do that till you're 100. Play music. There's a great movie called, oh gosh, now I'm going to forget what it's called. The Lady in Apartment something. It was one of the Oscar winners for short film, the last Oscars, and it was about a woman, Alice Summerfield, who played music into. She was 100 and I want to say she was 109. I think she died at 110, and she basically she was a Holocaust survivor, and I mean just this amazing woman, and she really. Piano, music saved her life. Basically, is playing music and the love of music and all of this. She has this beautiful outlook on life. If you ever get a chance, Elaine, I would think you would have seen that. It was incredible. Anyway to that. So you pick up your guitar, Chef Dennis. Music will keep you young.
109 years old. 109 years old. She must have lived in one of those blue zones in California or something.
No.
Have you heard of blue zones? Blue zones
I've heard of those. Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah, Life and Longevity. This one researcher, I can't remember his name, wrote a book on these blue zones, several zones. Japan is one of them. A certain place in Costa Rica and such, where a high percentage of people that live and thrive over 100. They're still active. They're still moving around. They're walking around and such. So.
Yeah, she was in London, so I don't know if that was
that could be a problem with lifestyle, but anyways, but obviously she has some of the other health factors like a great outlook on life, artistic, keeps her mind active,
gratitude,
eats reasonably well, gratitude, has family support. I mean, those are all blue zone factors, and that you can go to Dr. Google and Dr. Bing and find out more on blue zone. So,
that's interesting. I'll look at that.
I tell you, one of the best things there were two things that I remember about London the most, about England the most, and one was Mind the Gap. Okay, I remembered that, and the other was that when you looked for traffic, they had written in certain places to look the other way because you were looking the wrong way.
So, yeah, we do that. We have that.
That's funny.
Sure.
We have that a lot, and we have it a lot in Brighton where I am as well, because we have a lot of foreign students that come in, and so you look down, it's like look left, or look right, like just don't trust your instincts on this one.
That is so funny. That's something I never would have thought of, and probably gotten hit by a car. Unfortunately, I wouldn't have thought of that.
Well, the other thing as well to think, because I lived in Toronto for a year, and
did you?
Yeah, and absolutely loved it. And obviously everything is in a block system. So when you're talking about where to go, it's like, I'll meet you on the northwest corner, or it's south of here. It's so easy. And I got home, and I was back in this town that I'd grown up in, like knew it, but I mean, the way we make towns and villages, they're all like higgledy-piggledy. It's like someone's taken a biro and just gone like that on a map. And I'm on the phone with my mum, and I was like, where is this so-and-so? I don't remember what I was looking for. And she went, well, it's down, and then it curves around, and then and I was like, but is it north of da-da-da? And she was like, how the hell am I supposed to know? Like, I don't know. It's next to this pub. And that's one of the things in England. We navigate everywhere by pubs. It's like, well, where's the nearest? Oh, yeah, I got it. Yeah.
Well, in Scotland as well. And actually, Dennis, I guess you don't know that. I am in Canada. I am from Edinburgh. I did my schooling in Canada, actually, half of it in Toronto, Amy. But my heart will forever be in Edinburgh.
Edinburgh's beautiful. It's lovely.
Yeah, so a little upset this morning because I would have said yes, but, that's the way it is. But, yeah, higgledy-piggledy. My parents lived in Shortlands in Kent for a year and a half, and then they were in Ealing for 2.5 years. Yeah, so it is, all over, and always a pub. There's always a pub.
That's it.
What happened with Scotland? Did they vote?
Yeah,
they voted no.
55% no.
Yeah. It was close. It was very close.
55%?
Yeah.
Yeah, 55% no, 45% yes.
Yeah.
And I was actually corrected at a business meeting this morning when I said that was actually close, and said, actually no, it wasn't. That was 10% of the population. That's not that close. I said, oh, okay.
Yeah. But when you look at the numbers though, and how many people,
it was bloody close.
It was. I mean, I think when I checked this morning, it was like 1.9 million compared to like 1.5 million. And okay, those numbers are big, but just the amount of people that came out, and
the turnout was incredible.
You can't ignore that. Like, you can't ignore that thinking.
Now, I heard they let 16 and 17-year-olds vote. Do you think that had an impact?
Yeah, well, initially, I think Amy will back me up on this. I said there was a sign-up was 97% that were saying they were going to vote. And it was well over 85, so that's really good.
I don't know the figures, but it was a huge turnout. I mean, there wasn't that usual apathy that we do have sometimes when it comes to politics. People were very, and it was close to the last minute in terms of not knowing which way it was going to go, because there was a lot of undecided right up until the last point. And because it was a very emotive vote, there was a lot of people that were voting but wouldn't say, which is absolutely their right to do. So it's been a real nail-biter for the last sort of few weeks as it's ramped up.
Yeah, and we have, like, all of my family still there. There's just, like, my dad here and my sister. But we have people on both sides.
Yeah.
So it was really interesting, and as Dr. Allen will know, as I sit on the border of another place that is really into referendums, our voter turnout, I don't know what it's like in Calgary, Dr. Allen, but in Ottawa it is abysmal.
Well, again, I hate to end on politics. I think we're going to end in a song there. Dennis. So I'm going to avoid that one altogether.
I think sometimes that's the best. My home state of Texas tries to secede from the Union every now and then, but that doesn't work out.
Yeah.
Pay for effort.
Pay for effort, but no.
There is a Western Canada separation movement as well. It's not very powerful. And, my quick observation is that when people are motivated with things that touch their heart, they're going to come out, they're going to speak, they're going to do stuff. And when they don't really care because it doesn't touch them, none of the characters touch them, And that says something to Google Plus, and it says something to social media and even business media and marketing. If it doesn't touch me, why should I even bother acting on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's also good
Thank you, Elaine. Thank you.
that they included the younger people, 16, 17. I mean,
Yeah.
you're thinkers, you know, you have opinions, and they may not be the most wise or, you know.
But they're the future.
Yeah, they're the future, exactly. And if they have a say and they feel responsible for the future, then maybe they'll be more active and in positive change and that sort of thing. So that's really good. I think that's interesting that they let 16 and 17-year-olds have a say.
Absolutely. Well, Heather, now that we have you here, and why don't we go out with a song? We've got about 5 minutes left of the show, so you're not pressed for time. Don't worry about that.
Okay, you can cut me off. No, I don't take offense. As long as you don't throw tomatoes, I'm okay.
There is no cutting you off. But no, we have to, and then we'll come back and talk to everybody else after that and say our goodbyes. But
all right.
Here you go. It's all yours.
All right. I'm going to put you all back in the stadium. All right, this is a song called Autumn's Chill. Fireworks and fireflies dancing through the dark summer sky. Wrinkled fingers and muddy toes, drinking lukewarm water from the hose. And you bring me back to a time when life was gold. For the summer days melted away, leaving autumn's chill in my bones. Slips and slides and catching butterflies, we wore our grass-stained jeans with such pride. Treehouse living and ghost stories, Cape Crusaders and a land of Honolulu. Oh, I messed up. Land of Honolulu. Sometimes I get lost in the visuals and you bring me back to a time when life was gold. For the summer days melted away, leaving autumn's chill in my bones. Now we can't play hide and seek from life's realities. Just trying like hell to be part of the race. Forget my broken dreams and these aches and pains. Life ain't always kind, but you take me back. You take me back to Marco Polo and Can. Countless hours spent daydreaming away, and life was just a silly game that we played. And you bring to a time when life was gold. For the summer days melted away, leaving autumn's chill in my bones. And that song is about how love brings you back. That all of the, sometimes as we get older, we lose the wonder of the world and the beautiful things in the world, and we get so caught up in paying the bills and the everyday. And I feel like when you fall in love, whether it be with your partner, your husband, your wife, your children, your friends, or just life itself, everything comes back like that, with that childlike wisdom or childlike wonder, I should say, and magic. So that's called Autumn's Chill.
Very cool.
Awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. Sorry about the mess up there. Live television.
That's all right.
It's real.
That was really beautiful. Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure to see you and to have you on singing. It was great. And people can go to your website and they can find out how to find your music. It's on iTunes. Is it on iTunes?
iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, and my website, heatherfaye.com.
Okay. So look for it and buy some music. It's great stuff. I have 2 of your CDs, so I know for sure.
Thank you. I know you're a wonderful supporter. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. And Dr. Allen, thank you so much for coming on today and sharing some of your insights, and I'm looking forward to being on your show. So what do you have coming up you'd like to tell us about?
Well, the show for sure, but one of the things that people might not know, I am online as thespinecoach.com, so I'm a coach, a life coach, and speaker and presenter, and basically I have some programs that help people with their posture and alignment, which I believe is the key to getting their spine corrected, is with keeping your head between your shoulders first, and then working on the other parts. So that's what I do online, and that was a big, bold move for me to go online and reach out to the world.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We're glad you did. We're glad.
Thank you. Thank you.
You'll have to work up a program for Googlers. So since we all sit at our desks so much now.
Well, as a matter of fact, I do. We'll talk about that probably on my show. You can ask me about it.
There you go.
Good.
Thank you, Dr. Allen. It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
And Amy, thank you so much for joining us from across the pond. What do you have coming up that you'd like to share with us?
Thanks for having me. Well, as I mentioned briefly, at the moment I've got some private client writing projects on at the moment, which I love to do because I think if you're training, then you should be doing as well. So I like to keep my hand in the writing so that I can do the training as well. Other than that, it is just getting all the content ready and putting it in a structure, and then getting it ready for this training center to launch. So when that's ready, you'll be starting to hear about it from me.
Sounds good. I look forward to hearing that, and we'll pass that information along to everyone.
Thank you.
And Elaine, what do you have you'd like to share with us before we leave? Any last projects?
Actually, yeah, I'm part of a group that has just launched a membership site, which is helping you overcome online overwhelm. And we're coming up with a big launch in October called Ooktober, because it's Overcome Online Overwhelm. You'll be seeing lots of postings from us, and it's all about delegation and helping small business to get a handle and not be so swamped by everything that they have to do and everything they think they have to do.
Cool.
That's great. I need that.
Excellent project, and right now my lawn guy is going by the window. It's usually a little earlier, but we had rain today, so he's just behind schedule a little bit. So on that note, thank you all for coming. It's a pleasure, and it's always a good day on Google Plus when you get to spend it with your friends. So have a great day, have a great weekend, and we'll see you all real soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Chef
Thank
Dennis.
you.
Yeah, make your day amazing.